Sadgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amrutangamaya Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. O Lord, please lead us from unreality to the reality, from ignorance to the knowledge, and from death to immortality. Oh, peace, peace, peace. Dear devotees or spiritual aspirants, at the outset I am very happy and thankful to all of your love and hospitality in this 1 week I experienced. Especially as Victor was saying, Shantuda really extended his hospitality and he spent a lot of time with me. Especially time is very important nowadays, we all know that. He spent a lot of his time, love, and Madanji and Anitaji also very beautifully, they fed the prasad first day. As soon as I came to Zurich, first day, beautifully they fed love. And yesterday, Katrina took me all around Zurich and she showed so many places and all. The other day, Tushar and Mr. and Mrs. Tushar, they also accompanied and we had a good dosa in the hotel and all. Beautifully, I had a very good, good time. I think after 8 or 9 months afterwards, I came out from my center. And of course, I had a very good holy company in the German, our Berlin Center inauguration. I was really enjoyed the holy company of sadhus. I am enjoying the company of the devotees in the Zurich. Thank you for all of your love and hospitality. Yeah. Today coming to the mind management and the practical problems and solutions in spiritual life. This is the overall concept or topic of today's talk. Most of us, of course, we might have studied books on mind, or we might have already undergone some workshops, some seminars, some talks on mind. The mind is a very wonderful instrument given by God, given by nature to us. But it is, unfortunately, we are not handling it properly. Recently there was a cartoon, like we handle our mobile so carefully actually. We put the supporting cover and with the screen guard and also that we see that mobile should not get any problem. Even it falls, it should be intact. There should not be any damage to the mobile. Because we give importance, a lot of importance to the mobile. In fact, it is a lot of use is there. But same wonderful instrument is given by God, for all of us, but we are so careless many times. That is the reason we suffer and we struggle in the life. So to make my point clear, probably I will just narrate a funny incident. You will be able to understand the gravity of my statement. Once a guru and disciple both were traveling. The guru was a monk. It happened in India. Monk and his disciple, who would be monk, both were traveling in the forest. While they were traveling, they had to cross the river. In the river, unfortunately, a lady had fallen and she was crying for the help. The guru, since he knew swimming, he jumped into that and he took care of the lady and he brought her out and he did whatever the first aid is required. He did everything. And she thanked and he said, okay, this is the way you can go to your house or city. He showed the way and both of them, the guru and the shishya, the disciple, both of them, they continued their journey. But as you know, in Indian context, cultural context, we monks, we are not supposed to sit or touch with the ladies and we have to generally maintain a respectable distance we do maintain in India. So keeping the cultural context, the disciple was thinking how our guru touched the lady and especially brought her, etc., etc. That idea was lingering in his mind for an hour or two. And finally he was unable to control himself and he asked, Venerable teacher, if you don't mind, I have got a personal question. Guru said, fine, you can go ahead. And he said, how can you, being a monk, how did you touch the woman and how did you protect her life and is it not against the monastic vows? He said, no, of course, I didn't touch her because of some wrong ideas or wrong feelings, because I have to support her or I have to protect her life. The life is important than all of these things. And I protected her life and I left that idea or I left that incident there itself and I walked all along, and it is very unfortunate, you fellow, you didn't touch her, but you are carrying her in your mind for 2 hours for such a long distance. How unfortunate it is. I touched her, I brought her everything, but I left there only, that incident or her, about her, and I traveled. But now for 2 hours you carried this. What a pity it is. Kindly get rid of it. That's what the Guru said. So this is one of the wonderful life lesson for all of us. We add knowingly, unknowingly, consciously, unconsciously, all the things, good ideas, good feelings, bad feelings, positive emotions, negative emotions, we are filled in our mind, knowingly or unknowingly, and we have made sometimes our mind as a dustbin or a garbage. That's why we feel weak, that's why we feel our mind is scattered, that's why we feel we are not able to concentrate and whatnot. All the problems, all the effects, good and bad effects, it is because of this. Now what to do? We have to be conscious enough to take care of our mind. Just how we take care of our house, take care of our vehicle, take care of our mobile, or take care of any costly things whichever is there in our life with us. So similarly, the mind is the wonderful, precious item or an instrument given by God. We have to carefully, we have to handle, we have to protect, and we have to tame it so that our life will be beautiful. Now, what is this mind? Now, science gives a different perspective, Vedanta gives a different analysis, Sankhya gives a different analysis. Now, without going to any scientific explanations, I will be discussing what is mind and different stages of the mind, mainly from the Patanjali Yoga point of view. Before that, just I would like to tell few things from the Vedantic perspective. Now, what is mind, if you ask? The Vedanta tells, mind is one sense organ. We have got 5 sense organs of knowledge, where we perceive through eyes, ears, tongue, skin. 5 sense organs of knowledge. And we have got 5 sense organs of action also. Our hands, legs, all these things. So similarly, the mind is also one more sense organ according to Indian philosophy. All the schools of philosophy, all the systems of philosophy in India, they accept that mind is one sense organ. Now, based on the function, Vedanta divides mind into 4 components. One, it is called, probably you all be knowing, Manas. What is this Manas actually? Manas, according to Vedanta, it is explained as doubting faculty. For example, yesterday I was telling with Shantu that I love sneakers. Now for example, 5 sneakers you give some of you. 1 we eat, that is acceptable. 2nd, or maybe. 3rd, may not be, it is not good for health, because obesity can increase, or weight can increase, sugar level can increase, all of that. Now 2 chocolates I ate, 2 sneakers I ate, 3rd sneakers is there, 3rd, 4th, 5th. Should I eat or not? Yes, because desire. I like sneakers. Yes, desire. But the other side of the mind says, no, not. Because your sugar level can go increase, and there can be health hazards or disorders or whatever. So many times in our life, we get this type of crisscross. Should I do or should I not do? And especially waking up at the morning, and that too December, January. I would like to get up at 4 o'clock, 4 a.m. or 5 a.m. in the December or January. My goodness, what all calculations our mind does. Should I get up or not? All our mind is such a beautiful instrument. It gives wonderful logics. No, it is important. Health is important. All these things, and somehow it convinces us to sleep basically. So this doubting faculty is called Manas. Now 5 o'clock I am supposed to get up. Whether should I get up or not? I am feeling a bit headache, or I am feeling a bit lethargy, or I am feeling a bit maybe tiredness. So maybe I will get up at 6, or maybe I will get up at 7 today, and tomorrow maybe I will get up at 5. These are the arguments, few arguments which our mind gives. And the other part of the mind says, no, you had decided, you had thought that 5 o'clock I am supposed to get up, please get up, nothing doing. So the deciding faculty is called Buddhi, which we also tell in intelligence. Intelligence is sometimes it is translated, but basically it is called deciding faculty. I should do this, I should not do this. This deciding faculty is called buddhi. Now, the third is, how can she speak like that? She really spoke and it really hurted me. God's sake, I will never speak with her. I will never see her face. Such type of utterances we keep on hearing, or sometimes we might have done. Why? Because we have got hurt. I have got hurt means what? I have got hurt means my ego has got hurt. How can she make such a type of statements? We are speaking that. That is called ego. That is called ahankara. Okay. This ahankara or ego is always identified with our body and mind. That's why we suffer. The Vedanta says you shift from this, your identification from your body and mind to the self. Then that's what it is called, ripened ego in Sri Ramakrishna's language. Then when we are small, we are able to sleep easily. But the more and more we become old and grow up, our sleep becomes disturbed and we are not able to get the quality of sleep. Why? Oh, because children don't have any worries at all and we have got so many responsibilities, worries and all, we keep on saying. And when we are a bit old also, sometimes we don't get sleep properly. Why? Because of our memory. So many wanted and unwanted memories we have collected from our birth to now. Because of these memories also, we can't sleep properly. And for example, in a Berlin Center inauguration when I had been, few of the people immediately they came and they wished. Why? Because they had seen me 1 year before in the Bindwide retreat. So that is what chitta, memory. So all our collection of thoughts, collection of remembrance is called chitta, which is known as memory. So these are the functional divisions of the mind according to the Vedanta. And moreover, in Indian philosophy, it is also accepted. Now, there are different functions, all these things. But when you start regulating them in a right perspective, in a right way, you can create wonders. Life can be beautiful. Life can be happiest. Life can be blissful. Life can be blessed, or even the world can be blessed. Everything is in my hands or is in our hands. For that, the way out is how do you tame, how do you regulate your mind? The same idea has been told by Sri Krishna thousands of years. Yad bhavam tad bhavati. As you think, so you become. And today, science has confirmed this concept. How? Yesterday we were discussing the neurons. All of us, we have got neurons. Brain cells are called neurons. The neurons, whatever the thinking we think, it gets similar charged. For example, I am always thinking positive thoughts, positive feelings, positive emotions, positive thoughts, positive ideas, positivity. So our neurons are keep on getting charged with the positivity, positive cell, positive cell, positive cell. When there are similar charges, they get connected. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, etc. Then the same cells when you get charged, they form like a rope they call. That is goes in a permanent memory. That is what we say in a layman's language, a habit. Similarly, if you are thinking negative always, negative thoughts, negative feelings, negative emotions, negative habits, they also get connected and they get the rope form, and that's what it becomes a habit. And once it becomes a habit, it is very difficult for us to get away from the habit. So today, in the neuroplasticity, they are saying that you can rewire the brain even. Rewiring, for example, there is electrical connections in the house. Now it becomes old or we want something else. We can remove the wire and we can insert the new wires through the pipes. We can rewire the house. We can rewire the building. So similarly, we can rewire the brains even today. Neuroplasticity, the neuroscience is telling. How? Because of our thoughts. This thoughts is a very wonderful thing which we might not have thought. Now just one quick question for all of you. Love or feelings, emotions, is it a thought or not? And it is independent or is it a thought? Feelings, emotions, we all got feelings, we all got emotions. Is it a thought or it is something else?
It's an experience.
It's an experience. Okay. No, my question is, it is a thought or not?
It's a thought.
Is it a thought?
It can be a thought, but if it is based on ananda, it is a state of being.
Okay.
Love can be ananda as being.
Okay, fine.
So it's a thought which has possibly got an envelope of minus.
Minus, okay. Yeah, wonderful. Yes. So even love, emotions, whatever we say, emotions, feelings, in the empirical level, it is also a thought. Now desire, it is a thought. Thinking, again, thinking involves thought process. Your memory is nothing but what? Again, thoughts. Your ego, the sense of identity, it is also expressed in the form of thought. Now all these things can be summarized into one thing which is called thought. Many of us, we don't think actually in this angle. So it is a thought. You take care of thoughts. What happens? Because thoughts create impressions, which is called in Sanskrit samskaras, or tendencies. So thoughts create tendencies. The tendencies forces you, pushes you as a propelling force to perform actions. And this actions produces fruits of action. One side, papa, punya, virtue, vice we say one side. The second is, it forms your character. Your character, as your character, so your personality. As your personality, so your success. Now all started from where? Seed form is what? Thoughts. Why should we think properly? Think big, think properly, think rightfully. And even Buddha also says in the Ashtanga, right view, right thinking, he says. In Yamaniyam also it is told, in the Indian psychology also. So everything comes from the thought. For example, oh Swamiji, I have got one desire which I don't want, but it is so powerful, I have become the slave of the desires, I say actually. Many times we keep on telling, complaining, we feel the helplessness. The desire is nothing but, again, it is just a thought. And the thought has come in my own mind, not in someone's mind. Though control your thoughts, then you will be able to control your desires also. Controlling desire is a huge task, all of us, we know that. So, finally, it started with the thought. It began with the thought, and finally, if you see, this is the seed of whole of our life.
One question.
Yeah, please.
You said the thought, and you have to decide what is right, what is wrong. Right?
Yes.
And what is right, what is wrong, how do we decide?
Swami Vivekananda's beautiful explanation is there.
So, in that aspect, I would say, what is wrong, what is right, it comes from how we have been brought up.
Fine.
So the way we are thinking of deciding which is right, what is wrong.
Mm.
So, who is controlling that? That's my question.
Yeah. Okay. So, see, there are universal principles, or universal truths, universal values, and there are specific truths, specific values. For example, I should love people. I should help people. I should speak truth.
Yes.
I should do right thing.
Yes.
This is a universal value. You belong to any culture, you belong to any country, you belong to any continent. It doesn't change. Now, for an example, here in Switzerland, you go always in right side. In Ireland, we go left. Now, I am from Ireland, I go left, so my habit is in left side. I will go only left side, I said, then there will be clash, there will be accident. If I drive my vehicle on the left side, then there will be clash. So that is, from country to country, these rules, regulations keeps on changing. Okay. So from religion, from cultural point of view, some rules, regulations, some right, wrongs changes. These are specific values. But there are always universal values, which is constructive, which helps me, which helps the society, which elevates me, which elevates the society. All of them can be taken as a universal values, and that can be practiced. I mean, on the broad canvas I am speaking.
Yes. So what I am trying to say is the decision of making right and wrong. It's depending on the environment where you are staying.
That's what I am saying. Yes, it depends on environment, no doubt, but there are universal values which is holds good every time at all places. It is not contextual. For an example, maybe 100 years before or 150 years before in India, when there was a king's rule, kings used to marry 2 or 3, 4 people, 2 or 3, 4 ladies. Now, according to the Indian constitution, it is no more. You can't marry a second person, isn't it? Now the constitution has changed, the rules have changed, so you can't marry. That's again cultural and contextual values. So these are all defined by the society laws and all, but there are universal values, however you are being brought up, but these are the standard universal values which everyone can practice. And the beautiful point, everyone's of our conscience knows what is right and what is wrong. Because of the desire and because of the weakness of the mind, we cover it. We are good liars when it comes to our own mistakes. When it comes to our own mistakes, we are good liars. When it comes to others' mistakes, we are good judges. We do that. That's all.
Exactly. This is what I was trying to.
Yes. Now, coming to the point. Now, I think you understood the importance of the thought. Now, we will go to the important thing. 5 stages of the mind are the 5 states of the mind as described by Patanjali thousands of years before. Now, you may get a question. Why should we know that? What is the use of it? The moment when you know all these things, you will be able to understand where are you, where I am, where are you or where I am, I will be able to understand, and what to achieve, where to go, I will be able to fix my target, I will be able to fix my goal. That's the reason you are supposed to know. And we can have our own ideas, we can have our own philosophies, our own understandings, no doubt, but this is a time-tested truth, and it has come from a Rishi. Rishi is what? He is a spiritual scientist who dedicated his life with unselfishness, with a pure mind. He experienced and he has given these formulas. That's why it is more reliable and that's why it is more probably safe to practice and to implement in our life. So Patanjali has given. So Patanjali discusses this mind as a 5 states or the 5 stages of the mind. So when we start discussing this, you'll be able to understand, or you may think that Swamiji is probably telling about me now. Swamiji is describing me or my biodata. Like that we will start thinking. So the first state is called Mudha. Whoever knows bit Sanskrit, you'll be able to understand this. Mudha means it is a dull-headed person. One who is lethargy. One who is the best laziest person, we can say. Or laziness we know, procrastination we know. We keep on postponing all these things. All these things comes into this category called Mudha. I want to get up, I am unable to get up. I want to keep my house clean, I am not able to do. I want to keep always regulated routine, timetable. I fix, especially when we are spiritual aspirants, we do all these things. We try to do, okay, my getting up and I have to do so many hours of meditation, the exercise, walking, cooking and working, taking care of our personal and professional life, and maybe some studies, and going to ashram or coming to Zurich Study Center. All these things we plan sometimes, and many times we cannot do it. We always keep on struggling. Why? Because of the laziness. So this is called Mudha. And dull, inertia, absent-minded, all these things comes in this form of Mudha. And also lack of discrimination power. We have got that faculty, but we have not manifested, we have not regulated, we have not exercised. So basically there will be loss of discrimination, lack of proper understandings, lack of exercising the right and wrong things. All these things will be in the Mudha state. And basically, if you want me to say, it is led by tamas. I think you know what is tamas, what is rajas and what is sattva. So if a person is dominated by tamas, say 80% tamas, 10% rajas and 10% sattva, or whatever is the fractions, majorly is dominated by tamas, if that state of mind, that person, that personality will have this Mudha state domination. And this is the unfortunate state where most of the people suicide. Suicidal attempts, too much negative, too much complaint mindset, cynical nature, all these things we can see in this Mudha state. Why? Because they are so tamasic. They can't understand, they can't appreciate. In everywhere they will be seeing the defects. And also it leads to depression, stress and strain, all these things. And it is self-destructive. Patanjali explains this. It is a self-destructive. As soon as possible, we should get out from this situation. Now, when you hear, you may get a question, yes, this state is there for us sometime, no doubt, but we are not destructive. Such a long life, 20 years, 30 years, 50 years, 70 years, 80 years, we have led life, Swamiji, then how can you say self-destructive? Maybe spiritually we couldn't advance. And it is not that all the time you are in Muda state. Some other states you are oscillating or swinging over. That's why you are not. You are like struggling, or you are able to progress or whatever. But who is in Muda state at the longer time, he get lot of psychosomatic problems also. And Swami Vivekananda says very clearly, as much as possible you should get out from this, because it is a demonical state, very base instinctive state. That's what even Swami Vivekananda explains in his the Raja Yoga. Now, how to overcome this Muda state? The scriptures say that first and foremost, be active. Understand that I have got laziness. Accept that I have got tamasic nature more in my nature. I am irresponsible, or laziness, a lack of discrimination, a lack of exercising willpower, lack of using the things and coming up. All these things are there. Accept it and try to be more and more active. Try to be more and more responsible. Try to be more and more mindful. Try to be more and more conscious. All these things, one or two or all of this exercise, doing this mental exercise, you can come out from this Muda state. That means you will be switching over to, you will be evolving yourself from tamasic state to the rajasic state. There is a very funny story. One of a disciple, like there was a hermit, there was an ashram, there was a pontiff, a beautiful Swami, and he had his few disciples, maybe 10 or 15. One of the fellow, he stayed maybe 20-30 years in that ashrama. And by the time he was a bit aged, maybe 70 plus, once he thought, I have become now old, so I should take retirement. I should just spend my time contemplation or meditation or devotional practices only. I should not involve in any more service activities of the ashrama. That was his idea. So basically he went and he approached the pontiff of the ashrama and he said, Swami, I've been working for 70 years, now I'm 70 plus, so I would like to take retirement. Will you grant the retirement? And the Swami asked, my dear, please tell me, when were you working? Means you were such a lazy person. So many times that too can happen in us. So basically we have to be active, then only we can come from Muda state to the Ship. The second state is called Kshipta. First was Mudha. Then the second state is Kshipta. The Kshipta is the better state of mind. It is compared to the monkey state of the mind. And there is a beautiful explanation or narration of our mind. How our mind behaves. What is the nature of the mind, if you ask? The scriptures very, though it is real, in a very funny way, they have explained. For an example, monkey. Now we are all sitting here and we are trying to listen, we are trying to understand, and we will be able to sit for hours, few hours. Now just you think, we call some few monkeys and we said, come on, I will do mind management class, kindly come and hear. Then what happens? Maybe 2-3 minutes they can sit, immediately they start jumping from one place to another. So from one branch of the tree to another branch, it keeps on jumping because it is highly restless, highly volatile. Monkey, it is always restless. For in few seconds it keeps on jumping from branch of the tree to other branch, or from tree to tree, from one place to another. And someone gave a liquor. Someone gave the liquor and a monkey has consumed the liquor. Now it is with fully intoxicated and monkey doesn't know what it is doing. And unfortunately, at the same time, the monkey was bitten by a scorpion. First of all, it is a monkey. Now it is intoxicated and a scorpion has bite. Scorpion bite is there. And some ghost has entered, spirit has entered. Now you can very well imagine what will be the state of that monkey. Monkey, intoxicated, scorpion bite, and some spirit, ghost has entered that monkey. So what will be the state of the mind? How highly volatile, how highly restless you can very well imagine, we can imagine. That is what our nature of mind, most of our mind. That's why it is very difficult to control. And Arjuna says, Vayoriva Sudushkaram. It is as good, as difficult as controlling the air. So now all of us, sometimes we feel, oh, controlling the mind is very difficult, Swami, how much or you may say. It is not the problem of our own, only few of us, it is the eternal problem. Even Arjuna, who is the Maharata, even he was a Maharata. Maharata is one who can fight with 10,000 people at a time. He is called Maharata. And Atirata means one who can fight with 1,000 people at a time. So only 18 Maharatas we can see in the whole of Mahabharata. And Arjuna was one of that Maharata where he could fight with 10,000 people all alone. And such a person is telling that controlling mind is as good as controlling the air, which is so difficult. And that mind we are trying to understand and we are trying to control. Yeah. Now the second state of the mind is called Kshipta. Chitta is monkey state of the mind, they say. Here some maybe 2 or 3 seconds, 4 or 5 seconds or maybe few seconds we can control, we can concentrate. Otherwise mind will be tossing between the thoughts. Mind will be tossing between the concepts. Mind will be tossing between people and with a few different situations or whatever. So it is called monkey mind. The Kshipta mind is called monkey mind, highly agitated, highly restless and highly reactive. This one word is very important, highly reactive. We should not react, we should respond. But most of the time we keep on reacting to the people, to the situations, to the life incidents, and that's why we suffer and most of our energy gets drained out. Probably I'll give you an example, then you'll be able to understand the difference between the reaction and the response. Though I'm not a very fan of cricket, but only I know the story, that's why I'm telling you. So once there was a cricket match between India and Pakistan. You know, India and Pakistan cricket match is a very interesting match. In India, all the streets, if there's an India-Pakistan match, most of the streets and most of the places will be empty. Where all people have gone? All people are sitting in front of the TV or in front of the mobile to see that India and Pakistan cricket match. So one match, such a one-day match, final match was going on, and Sachin Tendulkar was batting. You know that Sachin Tendulkar was one of the best batsmen. He was batting at some point of time. I think absent-minded was one of the Pakistani bowler. He was a spin bowler, and he wanted in 1 over. He had decided that I should see that Sachin Tendulkar will be out, and of course he was able to. And that day he did, and Sachin Tendulkar was just in 2 or 3 runs he had probably got, and he got out. And Sachin Tendulkar is the very nature is, if it is a mistake, he doesn't even wait for umpire's decision. Simply he takes the bat and he walks out from the game or from the field. And he was walking out, and this bowler, he mocked at him, said, "Look, what did I do? You understand? Who am I like that?" Immediately, if of such a stature, of Sachin Tendulkar, international batsman or whatever, imagine if someone would have said with us, we would have immediately reacted. We would have shouted, we would have taken tit for tat, what all things we could have done, generally imagine. But Sachin said, "I did a mistake, I accept, but this will be the last, I will never do this mistake." He very coolly, calmly, he gave a response. He didn't react, he gave a response and he left the match or the field. And afterwards, at least maybe 2, 3 or 10 matches, both of them they had, international and national level of India-Pakistan matches. Every time Sachin Tendulkar saw that without crossing century, he was never out. So this is what the difference between a reacting and responding. Most of us, we keep busy ourselves in reacting with people, with situations, and we drain out our energies. That's what called, reacting mind. So instead of reacting mind, we should go to the responsive mode. So, but this Kshipta state is what? Reacting mode. Our mind is highly volatile, highly agitated, highly emotional. And that's why our energies are getting drained out and we can't achieve many things actually. And that's also one of the reasons mind gets distracted. We can't think, we can't decide, we can't achieve many things. XYZ something. Said something, whole of my day got disturbed from one sentence, from one statement, or from one small incident in our life, either in the professional life or in the family life, or in the public life. That's what it can happen. So why? Because we are in the nature of the Kshipta mind, highly restless, highly agitated, highly reactive mindset. And it keeps on fluctuating between thoughts, feelings, emotions and ideas. You can't decide. Today you will decide that I will do this, I will do that. After 2-3 days, again it changes. After 2-3 days, again it changes. So we keep on changing, we keep on postponing all these things, it happens. And most of us actually, we are here in this Kshipta mind. Sometimes we keep on going to Muda state because we are all trying to practice meditation, we are all trying to practice Vedanta, all these things. Definitely we can't, predominantly can be in the Muda state. Generally we will be in the Kshipta state, which is highly restless, and fraction of seconds, few seconds, we will be able to control only.
Is this Rajasic?
Yes, it is Rajasic. Rajasic but mixed with the Tamas. Rajasic but mixed with the Tamas. Yeah, any questions? Or shall I go further? No questions? Or you want to reserve for the question session?
We've
Okay.
seen ourselves, so
Okay.
Swamiji, actually, I do have one.
Yeah.
So, in my understanding, which is partial and continuously evolving at this moment in time, it appears that the ego is an illusion, like a hologram. Like we experience it, but it's not really there doing the things that we think it's doing. Now, on one level, this tells me that we're not in control of anything. We're just observers, and this is a theatre, a play. But on another level, say for example in this talk, and I've heard Swami Shantivratananda talk in this way as well, regarding this idea of controlling the mind. And I'm still trying to get my head around these two layers of ultimately we're not in control, but we can control. How do we synthesize that?
Yes, wonderful question. Yeah. Now, say for an example, Advaita Vedanta says that I am the self. I and self, no two different things, two different entities. No, I am the self. I and self, no two different things. Like I have a mobile, means I and mobile are two different things, isn't it? When I say Aham Brahmasmi, I am that, or I am that self, I and self are not two different things, only one thing. That is the reality. We all know that. But unfortunately, we are unable to experience. Why? Still we are seeing the duality. So that's where I said in the beginning of my talk, wherever we are there, from there we should try to continue our process, continue our journey. The square fact is I am that self. But how much ever I listen, just one phone call, one message can disturb or can evaporate all your Vedantic ideas. That means the theory has not become the matter of fact, has not become the reality for me till now. So wherever I am there, we have to progress. Now when I am the self, then what is the nature of controlling the mind? Where is the question of controlling the mind? Why should I control the mind? I am not the mind. Fine. If you can hold on to it, there is no need of controlling the mind. But that is not the state we have attained. So still we think that we are body sometimes. Sometimes we think mind, sometimes we think ego. We are attached to ego, sometimes we are attached to thoughts, our feelings, or whatnot. That's why we have to control and we have to refine it.
I suppose the tag-on question to that is the way that you're speaking, the language you're using in order to have this conversation, but maybe another type of language that could be used is instead of saying this is why we need to control it, it's almost like how do I even frame this? We need to allow how do I even say it? This is the problem with language, I guess. So if everything is ultimately being played out by itself, it's almost a recognition that moving from a state of the illusion of being in control to simply just letting go of that thought or that problem and recognizing it's not even real. The imagination creating a problem. Is it something like this?
Yeah, but that highest idea cannot be comprehended by everyone. That's what even in Mandukya Karika, that's what he said. This whole world, the experience of this waking state is a big dream, long dream, fine. There is no creation at all. Then where is the point of struggling? Where is the point of all these things? That's what in Mandukya Karika Gaudapada, just he cuts at the stem of the tree.
Right.
You try to break a branch, you try to break a twigs or leaves and all. He said, just you cut at the stem itself, the root, then the whole tree gets removed. But again, that's what I said. How many people or how many of us we are ready for that?
Sure. Yeah.
So that's where all these mental exercises.
You said that a single sentence or a single word can destroy your whole day, or so many things. How can we stop that?
Yeah, don't react. Respond. Don't react, respond. Don't react, respond. That's what I told you, the Sachit Tendulkar story. That's what I told. Like, say Swami Vivekananda's life. I think there's a beautiful, funny incident happened in Swami Vivekananda's life. So don't take it anyone personally. Like Swami Vivekananda had been to US, we all know that. Yeah. In one of the city of the US, Swamiji was taking his tea or breakfast. Then in the next table, one US fellow, the aborigine of the US, he was also taking the food. So he thought, that because that time this racism and all was much prevalent. Now, thank God, we have got rid of many of these things. The fellow, he thought he's from somewhere, maybe Africa or Asia and all. He might not know English and all these things. So while he taking the food, he started abusing Swami Vivekananda for no reason. But Swami Vivekananda, as if he doesn't know, he doesn't understand anything, he was just having his breakfast. He's having his meal. It continued for 5, 10, 15 minutes probably. Now imagine, 1 or 2 sentences is enough. Third sentence we would have taken, hold his collar and, what made you to speak like this, my dear? Did I do anything? Immediately, generally we react or whatever in our own ways. But Swami Vivekananda was very coolly, he was eating. Then just before getting up, waiter came and he had a wonderful talk with him, 1 or 2 sentences regarding paying the money and tips or whatever. Then the other fellow who was abusing Swami Vivekananda, when he heard the English of Swami Vivekananda, he understood Swami Vivekananda knows English. That means whatever the abusing, the possible, the best foul words he used, he understands. Then he was really disturbed and he felt sorry and he disturbed, but still there was a puzzle or question in him. And he asked, Mister, you understood all my scoldings, now I understand, but why did you keep quiet? Swami Vivekananda said, my dear, I am not seeing the fool for first time in my life. I am not seeing the fool for first time in my life. He said, Swami Vivekananda, just he walked away. So he is a foolish person, for no reason he is talking, he is abusing me. Why should I boggle my head? Why should I react? He neglected, he just, like for example, there is a dust on my clothes, just to and you go away. That's what Swami Vivekananda said. Now, how many of us we can do that? That's what I used to say. React and respond. So from Kshipta, when you come to the third state called Vikshipta, then here you will have some control of your mind. It is a partially concentrated, partially restless. It is called Vikshipta. Vikshipta means here it is partially focused, partially restless mind. Here tamas is reduced, rajas is reduced, sattva portion is increased. It is not completely free. Sattva is predominant, but rajas and tamas is also there as a contributing factor here. Means good amount of portion of tamas and rajas is there here. But the beauty is the mind can receive the information and it can hold on to the information, hold on to the thoughts, hold on to the ideas for some time at least here. Whereas in the Muda, it is not at all possible. Shikta, in very less few seconds, few moments, but in Vikshipta, to good amount of time, yes, we can do that. We can hold on to the ideas, we can try to put into practice for some time. We'll be able to practice whatever we think and all. So here our mind is also will be discriminative. What is right? What is wrong? Let me try to hold on to right things and let me try to leave wrong things or unnecessary things as much as possible. That state of mind is called vikshipta. Most of the spiritual aspirants will be in this state called vikshipta. This is acceptable and encouraged. At least from kshipta we should come to vikshipta, not at all mudha. And generally this is the mid state for any achievements. The people in vikshipta easily they will be able to go to the next concentrated state. So here mind is easy to control, easy to regulate, easy to tame. This is called, vikshipta. And Swami Vivekananda says this is natural to the human beings and to even the demigods. The other two states are natural to demons, not the human beings actually. And this vikshipta is natural to human beings and especially to the demigods. Demigods like Indra, Varuna, Rudra, Shashanka, so many demigods we speak, celestial beings. So it is natural for them. And here you can control your mind and you can go to the Ekagra and Niruddha state, which are the two highest faculties. Now, Patanjali says the yoga, the spirituality is not possible for any of these three states. Mudha, Kshipta and Vikshipta. The person who is traveling or who is having either of these three states, for them spiritual life is not possible at all. We are struggling, we are trying to meditate, we are trying to do that, this and that. For fragment of the day we say, how much ever I do, I am not able to control my life, I am not able to progress in my spiritual life. Sometimes we feel that. Somewhere we are lagging, we feel that. Why? Because we are tossing between either Kshipta or Vikshipta state. So Patanjali says, in these three states, it is not possible. From Vikshipta, you have to go to the next state called Ekagra. Then only the concentration is possible, spirituality is possible. So this is what the Patanjali says. Now, the fourth state is called Ekagra. Eka means single, Agra means sharp. Probably if you have seen the arrow, if you have seen an arrow, the tip of the arrow, it will be very sharp. The more sharp it is, it can penetrate deep actually. For example, the tip of the arrow, it is blunt, then just it makes a hit on a person or a thing and it falls off actually. But the more it is sharp, it can pierce a thing, pierce a person more intensely. So this agra is what? The sharpness it is referring to. Eka is single, agra is sharp. So it is single pointedness. We say single mind, single pointedness, concentration, we use all these words. This is called ekagra. In this ekagra, it is fully, completely concentrated mind. And if you listen to the Patanjali, it is very interesting. He says that for 12 seconds, if you can concentrate on a particular concept or an idea or anything, then you have achieved concentrated state. Just how much? 12 seconds. You say, come on Swamiji, you can't bluff us. For 12 seconds anyone can achieve, anyone can attain 12 seconds. No, I can achieve even 1 minute, I think, 1 or 2 minutes it is easy. We all think, even first time when I heard from a senior sadhu, I said, come on Swamiji, please don't bluff us. How can you say? I can do many, I can do much more. I was so confident during my young days. Then the Swamiji laughed and said, kindly observe your mind, kindly observe yourself. Then it is no. We are not conscious enough, we are not aware. So in that milliseconds, mind makes a world tour actually. Mind makes a world tour. So 12 seconds if you can concentrate on a particular thing, then you have attained the concentrated state. And if you got this concentrated state, you can achieve anything and everything. And all the complexities, knots of the mind, which is technically called kleshas from the Patanjali, all these things will be, cleared from this concentrated state. So to achieve this concentrated state, all our spiritual practices are. Once you achieve this ekagra state, either in the empirical life or in the spiritual life, success is easy. Why? Less resistance or zero resistance. For example, if you see in the Sri Ramakrishna's life, he used to sit for meditation. When he used to sit for meditation, even the, birds used to come and sit on his head, he was unaware of. Why? Because of the concentrated state. The same thing we can see even in the life of Swami Vivekananda. And I think there's one very interesting incident which I have heard from a senior monk, the present Vice Chancellor of our Vivekananda University. During his young days itself, he wrote some few theorems on computer science and etc. Even the MSc computer science people, they read. Now he has become a monk and is a Vice Chancellor of our Vivekananda University in Belluvat. Once he was lying down in his room on the cot and he was reading some book. Then one monk, he went and he knocked the door. The door was open, but as a courtesy, he knocked the door. There was no reply, there was no answer from the monk. And because they were close monks, he thought he doesn't mind, and he entered. Since the door was also open, he entered the room. And monk is reading. He went and he stood for 2 or 3 minutes. No response. And he also pinched his legs, no response. Then finally he saw the page number of the book which he is reading. He closed the book and he took the book from that Maharaj. Then Maharaj looked after, when did you come? See, such a concentration he had. And this is possible for any one of us. It is only to be achieved.
It is fully sattva.
Yes, it is fully sattva. Very little, maybe 1%. Tamas 1% rajas can be there, because otherwise fully sattva we cannot say. Little tamas and rajas should be there. 1 or 2% of tamas and rajas, but it is highly dominated with the sattva. This is what ekagra state. Now, for example, it is very common you can see in the musicians, any artist in the highly evolved souls, this will be very common in this ekagra. The more and more you get ekagra, then what happens? Your mind is concentrated, your mind is not distracted, your energy level is well taken care, the resistance is less, wastage of energy is minimal, then you can achieve anything and everything. Yeah.
In a highly concentrated state, you would not be aware of what's happening around you.
Yes, you are right.
In an absolutely chaotic mind, you will not be aware of what's happening around you.
Yeah.
And I'm just asking from trying to understand this, because when we sit for meditation, you get at times feeling that I've sat for a long time and I'm pretty much lost into whatever I was doing and I'm not fully aware about it. Is it actually a state of tamas that we get into, or is it a state of sattva that we are experiencing?
Yes. See, there are only two possibilities. Either in the meditation, at that given point of time, you have got good concentration. That's why you are not aware of the thing, whatever happened, and you are not aware of the time. Either, or second thing, you had a nice rest. So that's what extreme opposites look alike always. Sattva, good tamas look alike.
Externally they look the same.
Look alike, yes. Because sattvic people, they are very calm, quiet, serene. Sattva people also, they are quite calm, serene, not doing anything. The laziness. They look alike externally, but there is a opposite of heaven and hell.
But that's from the external side, it might look the same, but from an internal point
Internal, there is a lot of difference. In tamas, it will be irresponsible or inertness and laziness, all these things. Sattva, it looks calmness outside, but internally, it will be a lot of activities will be going on. Just you observe the Sri Ramakrishna's life. You don't come across, in the whole gospel if you read, you study Gospel of Ramakrishna, you study Ramakrishna's great master, you don't find a single moment where Sri Ramakrishna was sitting simply and doing nothing. Or just he was feeling bored, so he was waiting for someone so that he can speak. Or he didn't know what to do, so he's keeping quiet and he was waiting to do something, nothing. He was completely sattvic. Either he was meditating, or he was doing some prayers, or he was addressing some devotees, or he was in samadhi. So he is highly sattva and highly active. So sattvic people, being sattva means it is not becoming a actionless state. Maybe externally, but not. Internally they will be hyperactive actually. The same thing we can see in the life of Holy Mother. Holy Mother used to do so much work, and she used to do every day 100,000 japa. Imagine. 100,000 japa. Of course, ajapa japa, it was used to go always in her life. And I think Gaurima or Yogin Ma, she makes a beautiful observation. Many of us, we don't understand when we study Holy Mother's life. The beauty of the Holy Mother is, she used to do work perfectly, but in this very soothing way and very fast, which is very rare in people. Doing fast, we can see people. So many people we can see doing fast things. But doing fast, not abruptly, soothing. When people see, it looks so soothing, so pleasant appearance. That was there in Holy Mother, and it was perfect. For example, when she prepares even a pan, that is a bitter leaf and nuts and all, when you prepare and give, so however the beautiful pan, a perfect pan should be there, that's how she used to prepare. And her mind is always thinking of God or whatever. With this highly sattvic people, this is what it happens. Sri Ramakrishna also, very few articles was there in his room, but everything was spick and pan. And for example, if you read in Great Master and Gospel, this story comes. Master Mahashaya, he took a knife from a cupboard, and after using, he was keeping in a particular place. Sri Ram said, no, that was not the place, and that was not the way to keep it. Mahendranath Gupta, Master Mahashaya said, what does it matter? Either you keep in the second roof, second step, or third ward, or what does it matter? Sri Ramakrishna said, no. Night, you people all will go away. Night, then no lights and all, you can imagine lamp or whatever. Even in the night, without light, if we go and if I put my hand, I should be able to get the knife. Means for everything, for every object, he had a particular place. It should be kept in that place, in that particular fashion. And this we have seen very much observed in our sadhus, senior sadhus. Their books or their clothes or their articles, including Japamala, everything they used to keep in a particular place and particular way only. If you change, we used to get very good prices. Now, you may question why it is. Is it not a waste of time? No, it is regulating your mind. It is taming your mind. One is first and foremost, for example, you are keeping a class or keeping things as it is in a right place all the time. So, you will be chucking your laziness actually. Because we are lazy, okay, I will keep glass today, now afterwards we'll take. Like that we keep things here and there, simply we throw things under. I mean, I'm not saying everyone, but sometimes. Why? Because of laziness. And the second is, when you are doing things as it has to be done, then you are taming your mind. Then, when you are controlling your mind, you are regulating your mind, you are taming your mind. That will help for your meditation also. That's why Yatish Vanji makes a beautiful comment or observation in his book, Meditation Spiritual Life. If you want to meditate for half an hour, you have to prepare your mind for 23.5 hours. Then only the quality of meditation can be good. I mean, we have to be conscious, we have to be responsible, we have to be alert. And when we have that conscious life, when we have that regulated life, concentration is possible, spiritual life is possible, and meditation is possible. And the beauty is, we are consciously unconscious. We are consciously unconscious. It's a simple word. It is jingling with the words, I understand, but it is a very great statement. We are consciously unconscious. I am the self. I know that. I am the self. I am the self. I keep on saying sometimes, but I am not aware of it. Or even for argument's sake, even say I am so and so. For example, I mean, this can happen. Someone is behaving in a particular fashion, in a weird way. You are a team leader. How can you behave like this? How? Yeah, I am team leader. I am not supposed to behave like this. Okay, I'll keep quiet. Means I suddenly became. It is not that I don't know. It is not that people didn't know. But just people reminded me that I am a team leader, I am a CEO, or I am a manager of the company or whatever. Immediately my actions got changed. My behavior got changed. So similarly, I should be aware of myself. That's what mindfulness we speak. That's what we say, being, not becoming, all these things. So that is possible in this concentrated state called ekagra. So it's basically one-pointed thing and led by sattva guna. And if you see, probably I think in Berlin also I gave this story example. a piece of paper in the sunlight. Just you throw a piece of paper in the sunlight, nothing happens. Then you bring a lens, convex lens, and you keep on the paper, what happens? After few moments or few minutes,
It's
It's burning.
it starts burning. Why? It gets concentrated.
concentrated.
Earlier also sun rays are there. Earlier also paper was there, same quality of paper, same quality of sun rays, but it didn't burn. But the moment you brought the convex lens, then what happened? The rays got converged. X, Y, Z or A, B, C, D, E, F. So all that put together, the energy got increased, the heat got increased, and that's what the paper caught fire. So similarly, our mind has got so much energy, but since it is getting dissipated, it is getting distracted, we are not able to achieve. Once the moment it gets concentrated, all that mind, that energy is getting concentrated, then you can achieve anything and everything. I think if you know the story of Arjuna in the Mahabharata, you'll be able to know that. Hitting the eye of a pigeon. I think most of you know that story. So this is where the concentration comes. And 5th or 6th school you have to pass how much ever you study, if at all. Then when it comes to 10th standard or 11th standard, you have to pass with the same grade, same marks, then you have to study more. And when you go to graduation in the university exams, you want to excel 80%, 90% or A plus grade, then you have to study more. So likewise, the goal become more and more higher, more and more become sensitive, then the duration of the practice also has to be increased long time. So he says, Dirgha Kala, the practice should be for long time. Long time I don't mean every day you should practice 6 hours, 8 hours meditation. Means long time means today you practiced half an hour, fine. Tomorrow, day after tomorrow, 1 week, 1 month, 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, yes. If possible, try to increase, at least don't decrease. So every day with that constant practice we keep on doing it. For a longer time if you do it, you will be able to. Here Holy Mother Sharda Devi, beautifully she makes it when someone says, Mother, there is no spiritual progress and I am not getting peace of mind by japa or by meditation. A disciple complains. She says, my dear, try to do every day 10 to 15,000 japa for 10-15 years, then you come and ask, then I will be responsible for that. She has told very clearly. But we forget this conveniently and we keep on saying that, oh, there is no spiritual progress, there is no spiritual progress. 10 to 15,000 japa for 10 years at least you do it. And then you come and ask me if there is no spiritual progress. It is my responsibility, then I will answer. So it is very clear, Dirgha Kala. So it has to be, basically it should be continuous, I mean to say. Dirgha Kala for a long time. And again, Nairantarya, the second component of the practice, Abhyasa, Patanjali says, Nairantarya. Nairantarya means Nirantara Bhava, means without break. I told you already, 1 week we do, then again we leave, then again we start, again we leave. No, it should be continuous. It should be continuous. How much? Till reaching our desired target, desired goal, or reaching our destination. You have to keep on doing. That's why my Gurudev used to tell always, there is no holiday for spiritual life. Oh, today Sunday, no working, it is not working day, I can take rest from company or from your work, fine. So today Sunday I will not cook, we will go and eat in the hotel, yes, fine. But today Sunday, holiday, I will not meditate, no. So there is no holiday for spiritual life. That means what? It should be, every day it should be practiced. Dirgha Kala, long time, we understand, accept, okay. Nairantarya, it is continuous, without break, we understand. The third is which beautifully tells, Satkara Sevita, he says. Satkara Sevita means with love, with faith, with devotion. Means basically, if you want me to say in one sentence, there should be quality in my efforts. Every day half an hour meditation, so I'm just told, okay, I will sit and meditate, but my mind has done well too for half an hour. So half an hour every day I'm sitting for that. Okay, it is a physical level we are sitting, some continuous process is there, but there is no quality of the meditation, then our progress will be hampered, our progress will not be quickened. So that's why Satkara Sevita is quality, there should be qualitative effort in our spiritual practice or in our any efforts. The more and more you bring the quality, the more and more progress will be quicker. That's what Patanjali says, Satkara Sevita. Now, these three things, one who has achieved, what happens or how his life will be there. I will give a very interesting anecdote of a Vachaspati Mishra. Whoever has studied deeply Advaita Vedanta, you will be heard this story of Vachaspati Mishra. Well, when you hear this story, you may feel this is too much or other extreme, but it was the fact, no doubt. Now, in Advaita Vedanta itself, there are three streams of Advaita Vedanta. One is Bhamati school, the other is Vivarna school, there is a Vartika school. You need not to bother about these three schools of Vedanta. Basically, the Bhamati school is been founded by this Vachaspati Mishra. And Vachaspati Mishra is such a philosopher, there was no book left which was not read by Vachaspati during his time. Means he had studied all 9 systems of philosophy like Charvaka, Bauddha, Jaina, Nyaya, Vaisheshika, Sankhya, Yoga, Purvamimamsa, Uttaramimamsa. All these philosophies, books he had studied, not read, studied. So he is the Vachaspati Mishra. And he wrote Tika, glossary on Shankaracharya's commentaries on Vedavyasa's sutras. There is a logical treatise, means sutras, based on the Upanishads. There is a logical exposition of Upanishadic ideas in the form of sutras, in the formula form, which has been penned by Vedavyasa. For that, there is a beautiful commentary written by Shankara, which you can use as a pillow. Okay, for that, still people cannot understand some places. This Vachaspati has written a glossary or a sub-commentary on this. Again, you can understand very well. It's a good pillow. It can be made as a good pillow for all of us. And this Vachaspati, in the olden days, you can remember in the India, like this small desk used to be there. They used to sit on the floor, most of them, and they used to use a palm leaves for writing. And there used to be ink. So they used to touch in the ink pot always, and they used to keep on writing. Okay. So he's sitting in a hut on a mat on the desk, and he's writing his Tika. That is a glossary for Shankaracharya's commentary on the logical treatise. So evening, sunset is happening. So slowly darkness is slowly coming, dusk or whatever. Then one lady brought the mud lamp and she kept in the desk, near the desk. Then he said, "Thank you, lady. You helped me so I can continue my writing without getting disturbed." He said, "First, thank you." And in a few seconds or in a minute, he stopped writing and he said, "My dear lady, who are you? And without asking, why did you enter my house?" She started crying. Vachaspati took aback and said, "My dear lady, you brought the lamp for me. I'm very grateful, thankful. But there is a decency. If you are going to someone's house without knocking, without asking their permission, you can't enter. And you have done a mistake. And in a good way, in a good, decent language, I have spoken with you. I didn't scold you or whatever. And you are crying. Why is it? I don't think. I mean, it is not right from your part. It is unfair from your side." I mean, he said. Then she said, "Look, because you scolded me, I am not crying. I am not crying that you scolded me or whatever." Then Vachaspati said, please don't boggle me. I am not able to understand why are you saying this? Then what is your problem? Why are you crying? Then she said, "I am your wife. And you asked me who are you?" Then he stopped completely spelled writing, and he started thinking, "You are my wife." Then he closed his eyes and he started thinking, "Yes, 25 years before I had married." Then he opens his eyes and he sees at her, she's at already mid-age, 40 plus or whatever. And he says, "My dear lady, I am really extremely sorry. As a husband, I didn't do my job. I was supposed to look after you, I was supposed to care for you, and I was supposed to see your likes and dislikes, your interests, your desires and all. But I was so much obsessed with the idea, obsessed with the study, obsessed with the pursuit of knowledge, I forgot that about my marriage, about all the responsibilities. I am totally sorry." Then he started thinking, who looked after me these many days? She was the lady, silently she looked after her husband, and she never cared anything or she never demanded anything. Then he understood the whole thing. Then he said, but he was sincere enough. to accept his mistake, and he asked apology for her, and he said, so I have done a mistake, I have done a blunder, this cannot be removed, and it is unpardonable, no doubt, but as a prayashchitta, I will name this work after you, so that in forthcoming days people may forget me, but people will not forget you. So whatever the work he was writing, the glossary and the Shankaracharya's commentary and the logical treatise Brahma Sutra, he named after his wife, that is Bhamati. That's how we read Advaita Vedanta. Whoever reads deeply on Shankaracharya's comment Bhashyas, they read this Bhamati Tika also. So even now, see, so many 4-5 centuries over, still we remember Bhamati, and a school of philosophy in Advaita Vedanta has come in the name of Bhamati, that lady, because for her sacrifice. That is sacrifice from her side as a chaste wife, but this fellow, he never bothered about anything. He was obsessed with the ideas and obsessed with the knowledge, and just he was studying. This is what Abhyasa, the qualitative. Because he was so much interested in knowledge pursuit, or knowledge per se we say. So knowledge is power, we all keep on saying that. This is what we can see. And this type of wonders we can see either in the empirical life or in the spiritual life across the globe, across the world. When they have got Satkara Sevita, when they are interested in that. Why meditation feels boredom for us? We've not seeing TV or seeing mobile. It's not a problem for us. In midnight you ask, we all see that. But meditation or reading books or something, oh Swami, we don't have a time. We are busy, we keep on saying that. Why? I mean, generally we are not really interested, we are not really serious about these things. Whenever we are serious of anything, whenever we feel this is the dire necessity for our life, then we don't get any want of time. We have got time for everything. So if you think that I have no time for meditation, know it for certain that you are not serious about meditation. If you feel that you don't have a time for washing clothes, that means you are not giving importance. If you feel that you don't have a time to do something, that means you are not giving a priority, or you are not thinking that is a dire necessity. It's all, life is full of choices. So what choice you want, how do you make is what important. That's what I say. Life is a 3C. Life is a chance, life is a choice, life is a change. This whole life, the human life, is a wonderful chance given by the God. But that chance we have got, all of us, that's why we have taken a human birth. Interestingly, but what type of choices we are going to make, that decides our change in the life. That decides our success in the life. So choices is very important. What choices you are going to make, what choices you are in. There only comes Abhyasa and even Vairagya. No choice, Vairagya. Probably all of you could have enjoyed your time in your own way in the house. And said, no, Swami is coming. Probably there may be some good thing. We don't know what Swami says, let me go and try. So you charged and you came, probably you get some good things here. Otherwise some people might have said, they say yes and they didn't come because they had some other choice. So life is full of choices. We have to be careful about our selecting our choice, choosing. What do you want to choose? This is what in Kathopanishad we say. Shreyascha prayascha manushya metaha tau samparikti vivinakti dhiraha shreyo abhipreyo dhese munite preyo mandakshema gunite. The oral translation is, for every being, for every individual human being, there is a called Shreyo Marga and Preyo Marga. One is the best path, that is a pleasurable path. Common people select pleasurable path. Kaschit dhira, only few dhiras, rightful people, courageous people, intelligent people take this best path. The path of self, the path of spirit, the path of spiritual, or the path of yoga, or God-centered path, or whatever. Even in the conversation between Nachiketa and Yama, that's what we see in the Kathopanishad. So what choice you are going to make, that's what resembles, that's what speaks of Vairagya. Vairagya means, renunciation. So we should take Vairagya means, okay, we have to renounce the world and we should join monasteries. Should we join nunneries? No. That's one meaning of the Vairagya. Vairagya means detachment. Detaching from what? Desisting. Vairagya is desisting. Desisting from what? Desisting from unwanted things. Desisting from wrong things. Desisting from which makes physically weak, mentally weak. That's what Swami Vivekananda says. Reject whatever makes you physically or mentally, ethically weak, reject it as a poison. So Vikan, this is beautiful. We all know that what is good. We all know what is bad, most of us. Even including you ask a thief, the best thief, who is the one of the wonderful, the best thief in the world, if you go and ask him what is right and what is wrong, he can give a beautiful sermon. Isn't it? All of us we know. If you just dig ourselves, dig our mind, we all know that. But it is only what we know, we should keep on doing whatever good, and whatever is bad, we should keep on leaving it. So Abhyasa is what? Doing good things. Vairagya is what? Leaving the bad things. Leaving is the unwanted things. Or leaving the lower things, holding on to the higher things. That is called Abhyasa and Vairagya. And probably Abhyasa and Vairagya, the way I try to explain for the students I used to explain is, for example, there is a beautiful a ground or 3 or 4 acres of land we have got. Then we thought, okay, we will try to make use of it. Then you saw there is for a long time you didn't maintain, that's why there are weeds and everything. There with the help of a tiller, with the help of tractor, you tilled the land, you removed the weeds, and there were some stones and all, you removed the stones and you made the beautifully land, everything. But you didn't. You left it. After a week or 2, what happens? You cleared the land with the weeds, cleared the stones, everything. You made it clean, the land. And you didn't do anything. Just you left for 2 or 3 weeks. What happens? Again weeds will grow, weeds will come back. Okay, fine. Again you remove the weeds. Then you left it. Then what happens? Again weeds will come. Keeps on coming. You removing, keeps on coming. Maybe it may be less amount, but it keeps on coming. Then how to reduce? How to reduce or how to stop the growing of weeds? Is there any way out?
Cultivate something.
Yeah, cultivating something. So dessert crops, for example, grapes, or you want vegetables, or you want some greens, some fruits, whatever you want, you try to cultivate there. Then what happens? So much area will be taken care, and only in the left out area small weeds will come even. But regularly maintenance, when the crops grow fully, when the vegetables grow fully, or when the grapes, everything gets fully, then the growing of the weeds will be minimized. So Abhyasa is what? Sowing the desired crop, sowing the seeds and growing the desired crop is what Abhyasa, and Vairagya is what? Removing the weeds, removing the unwanted things from the soil or from our land. So these two should go both in hand. So in our spiritual life, Abhyasa, study, our spiritual practices, meditation, surrendering to the God, and self-thinking of the God or thinking of the self, contemplation, spiritual practices are Abhyasa. Vairagya is trying to desist ourselves from the wrong thinking, from the unwanted thinking, from the restlessness of the mind or whatever. So this Abhyasa and Vairagya both should go hand in hand, then the success is possible. This is the only possible way which we have to go to. Then the 4 yogas all fall in the Abhyasa. Ashtanga yoga we know in Patanjali yoga. Ashtanga yoga comes in the Abhyasa only actually. And the very interesting point is, now after hearing all these things, fine. The same thing was seen in the life of Duryodhana in the Mahabharata. When Krishna came for a particular task, Krishna said for Duryodhana, you belong to this Bharata clan. Bharata clan is known was one of the best family, best lineage. And you are the son, you belong to that best clan. And you are behaving such a foolishly, you are behaving such a weird way. That doesn't befit you. Because you are from such a lineage, you are such a good family, your forefathers are all great people. So it doesn't befit you. Please try to correct yourself. Don't try to act like this. That's what Krishna's advice was given to Arjuna. Duryodhana told beautifully, which is very practical and which is very apt. He says, Janami dharmam, nachame pravrutti, janami papam, nachame nivrutti, kim karniyam Vasudeva. Hey Vasudeva, hey Krishna. Because I also went to Gurukula, I have studied all these things. So I know what is right. Janami dharmam, I know what is right, what is religion, what is spirituality, what is right I know. Nachame pravrutti, but I am unable to practice. Janami papam, what is sin, what is wrong, what is unethical, what is immoral. I know, janami, I know, but nachame nivrutti, I am unable to leave. Kim karniyam, what shall I do? Hey Vasudeva, hey Krishna. So this is the fate for all of us. In our own levels and in our own way. We know what to do, we know what not to do. But what to do we know, we are not able to put into practice. We know what not to do, we are not able to. Then what to do? We have to do. Then what not to do? We should not do. That's the solution is very simple, but implementation is very difficult. That we can understand. But solution is very simple. So we should keep on doing good things. Now the question comes, I am the self, then I am not the body, I am not the mind, I am beyond all these things. Then why should I do all these good things? Okay, scripture says, should I do for that only? Or is there why should I do all these good things? The beautiful conversation has happened between Ramana Maharshi and an aspirant, spiritual aspirant. I think most of you know Ramana Maharshi. So he was a great saint from the southern part of India, greatest Advaita Gnani or Vedanti. So one aspirant said, I would like to realize self. What should I do? So this was a question asked by the aspirant. Then aspirant thought, okay, he will give some upadesha, he will give some mantras or whatever, he will give some upasana paddhati, he had thought. And he asked, what should I do? He said, don't do anything. Then the aspirant said, Gurudev, I am asking you, what should I do for self-realization? Then Ramana said, yes, you don't do anything. Don't do. Why? Because you are already self. You need not to do anything to realize yourself. Then he was unable to understand, comprehend. Did I hear you right thing that what should I do? And you are saying that you need not to do anything? Ramana Maharshi said, yes, you need not to do anything. Then his mind was very blank. He was unable to understand, comprehend that. Then Ramana said, better you do good things. Then that fellow felt little happiness. I said, why? Because you cannot sit quietly, you cannot keep quietly, that's why you will do right things. By doing right things, that you will be stopping, you will not be doing wrong things. That's why you should keep on doing right things. So by doing right things, one is by doing right things, you will be traveling towards self, traveling towards God. One is that, and by doing right things, by doing good things, what happens? It slowly, it also avoids doing wrong things to the larger extent, I wish to say. That's where Abhyasa and Vairagya comes into the picture. And in this Vairagya also, he speaks of many types, Paravairagya, and 8 or 9 types of Vairagya. And all he speaks, but I am not going to the technical details. The only gist I will be speaking, in the Vairagya is what first I said, detachment. So what is this detachment is we have to understand. Detachment is what? Do everything, but know it for certain that nothing belongs to you and you don't belong to anything because you are that self. And Sri Ramakrishna tells beautifully this, live in the world as a housemaid. And of course, in the Indian cultural context he was speaking, because in the West when I say housemaid, then you may not be able to understand. In the olden days, for an example, an housemaid used to come. Housemaid used to come, clean, sweep, mop and all. When she is there for a long time, she used to get mixed with the family. Almost like she also used to become a family member. And when, for example, there is a childbirth and she will start giving a bath, oh my John, my Albert or whatever, with all that. But she knows in heart of her, this is not my John, this is not my Albert. My John and my Albert is in the attached heart. But she will be cajoling, she will be doing love and affection and all. So this is what called Sakshi Bhava or witness. So detachment was doing all things but not getting attached. This is what we can see in the life of all the great people. In Swami Vivekananda, we all know that in 39.5 years he passed away. He had told long before, 1 or 2 years before itself, that I will not see my 40th year. Because as Sri Ramakrishna has said already that he is a Ichamrani. Ichamrani is when he wish, he can leave this mortal coil. Now it is not in our cases. When we wish, we can't leave the body. Because still our prarabdha has to get exhausted. But in these people's case, whenever they think, they can leave the body. Even in Sri Ramakrishna's life also we can see. He calls Yogananda, Yogin, and he brings to Alamnak and he starts asking to read. He was reading one particular day, what is Sthiti, what is Nakshatra, what is Rashi and all. And some particular date when he had finished yogin, Sri Ramakrishna said, okay, stop, you go. Yogin didn't understand why Sri Ramakrishna asked him to stop or why he is asking to read all these things. He closed the almanac and he went back. Then after a few days he understood. The day when Sri Ramakrishna asked on that particular day after reading, you stop, that was the day Sri Ramakrishna decided to leave his mortal coil. Same thing we can see in the life of Swami Vivekananda. They were walking one fine day. He and his brother disciple Premanji, they were walking, and he says, Baburam, is pre-monastic time. When I die, you cremate my body here. And 39.5 years he is telling. No one expects anyone to die at that young age. And Baburam Maharaj, that's Premanji, said, oh Naren, why do you speak all these things now? We'll see later. Swami Vivekananda said, no, you look properly, you look, I'm showing the exact place where you want me to cremate my body. Then, because Swami Vivekananda was not allowing him to go otherwise, he said, okay, this is the place I am looked after. And both of them, they walked, they came back, and it was Arati time, Vespers time. Baburam Maharaj, Premanji went to the Arati temple, and Swami Vivekananda went to his room, and he asked a japmala from his brahmachari assistant to give for japam. He sat and he is doing japam. And Arati over, food time over, food bell gave. Swami Vivekananda did come to dinner, and Brahmanji told to that attendant, you go and call Swamiji. And when he comes and when he calls, Swamiji's japamala is there in the hand. He has left his mortal coil. That means he had decided even that day to believe. That's why he showed, okay, when I die, so please cremate my body here. So because of that detachment, so much he felt for India, so much he struggled to uplift the humanity, and he started Ramakrishna Mission, and he spent all of his money, blood, everything for the India, for the humanity and all. But their work is over, their job is over, their project is over. They leave. They don't get attached. This is what detachment. And very interestingly, one more monk I have heard the story, who was the disciple of Swami Shivanandaji, Mahapurush Maharaj we say. His name is Swami Chidbhavananda, who left the order, but he started few ashramas in Tamil Nadu. He had started a few quiet ashramas with a sweat, with a hard struggle. He built ashramas. So in one of the main monastery he was living. By that time he was old enough, and he had some disciples, and they were looking after the ashrama. So mostly he was dedicating his time in studies and teaching and all. On fine day, there was a heavy rain, so much so everywhere 2 or 3 feet of water. So the water gushed into ashrama, furnitures, coconuts, all things are slowly getting floated. Imagine now the workers and the swamis and the brahmacharis are standing and trying to save furniture, save the ashrama items, and save the coconuts and all these things. But still, rain is coming. Then manager Swami said to the 2 brahmacharis, you go and inform Swami Chidbhavanji that this is what happening. There is a havoc problem. Then these 2 brahmacharis went, and they opened the door, and Maharaj is studying, reading something seriously, and there's a heavy downpour. They knew that if he's studying something seriously, if he won't disturb unnecessarily, he may get shout or he may scold. Out of respect and out of fear, these 2 brahmacharis are waiting. 2 minutes over, 3 minutes over, 5 minutes over, Maharaj is not looking. Then the brahmacharis are fearing, if I call, what Maharaj will tell. Then they made a plan and they started making sound like this, so that his attention is getting diverted towards him. So when he did 2 or 3 times, Chidbhavanji's attention got diverted and he saw what he asked. And again, brahmacharis got frightened bit. They said, rain. Yeah, rain is coming, what shall I do? Yeah, no, manager Swami told their furnitures are getting floated, ashrama, water is entered into ashrama, there are some problems. Imagine, he has built that ashrama with all that heavy work, hard work, sweat and all. Immediately what we could, is it, what are you doing? Is it everything okay? Come on, we'll do something. Generally we tell. It is a human, reaction, we all know. He said, oh, is it? Okay, you go, I will come. He was probably reading a particular chapter or a particular whatever. He wanted to complete it. He said, you go, I will come. And he sent the brahmacharis. He continued his study, reading. Maybe 10-15 minutes afterwards, he came down. And the sadhus and brahmacharis, they're all busy in protecting the ashramas, things and materials, furnitures and all. There are some children were there, 2 or 3 children, workers' children. He came down, and the coconuts were also slowly selling out. He he took 2 or 3 them and he started playing catch with the children. Everyone witnessed and they were dumbfounded. This is the Swami 20-25 years before, who did a lot of sweating, hard work to build this ashrama. He knows how much pain and how much sweating is there with behind every brick placing, and now he's not bothered. He's playing catch with the coconuts with the children. They are dumbfounded. When they asked, he said, "It is a mother's will. I was an instrument. I have done my work. It is not mine, it is a mother's. I have nothing to do now." So this is what detachment is. If this we can achieve, we can do any amount of work, our mind doesn't get agitated. Our mind doesn't get reacted. We don't get affected, and we can be happiest person, and by doing lot of work. Generally we say, living in the world is problem. Doing too much work, mind gets restless. We can't think of God, we can't think of self, all this type of thing we keep on saying that. But in these people's case, you see, they are the most workaholic people. They were the most workaholic people. At the same time, they meditated because why? They were detached people. The more and more you detach, then what happens? The more and more you detach, the lesser the resistance will be. The lesser the distractions will be. The lesser will be the problems, hurdles. Then your progress will be quicker. That's why Abhyasa and Vairagya both should go hand in hand. Abhyasa is what? Doing the regular practices or doing the right practices. Vairagya is what? Try to avoid unwanted things or which makes me physically or mentally or spiritually weak. So both should go hand in hand. And also 1 or 2 other things which I would like to tell you regarding the Vairagyam is, we should also have a control from the temptations. Initially we need a control from the temptations, but we should not suppress, we should sublimate. There is a lot of difference between suppression, control and sublimation. The sublimation is the wonderful concept given by Upanishad. Vishyanda will be 2 or 3 francs chocolate. So to get the 50 francs chocolate, 1 or 2 francs chocolate, I don't care. No. Why? Because I will get the 50 francs chocolate big. This is called the theory of sublimation. The Vairagya also involves this. So when these things, if we can practice in our own way, in our own possible way, we will be able to do it. No, practically all these things finds for me how to implement it. So when I thought, or when in my life, I practiced, one is 4 yogas, we all know that. The other 2-3 things which probably I practiced in my life is, one is God-centered life, as much as possible, either through japa or through meditation or study, scriptural study or whatever. So by thinking more and more consciously regarding God, I'm able to put into practice to a certain extent. The other is doing unselfish work, service. As Swami Vivekananda says, do work for work's sake. I'm not anticipating anything, just to please the God. Because God resides in every being. God resides in every being. As a service, as a worship to my chosen deity, to my Ishtadevata, I am serving the humankind, I am serving the fellow being, I am serving the people. This is what the second thing. The third is very important, is Sadhu Sangha, holy company. Here Sadhu Sangha means it not only monks, any devotees, any good holy people, any holy people. Maybe devotees may be there, maybe householders or monks or whoever, so who are holy people, who are good people, who are spiritually natured people, spiritually oriented people. We should have the company of this like-minded, spiritually centered, spiritually oriented people more and more, so that we will exchange our thoughts, exchange our feelings, exchange our ideas, and we get more and more concentrated, we get more and more clarity, we get inspired each other, we get motivated each other. So this holy company is also this. Probably these are the 3 practical tips I would like to give. One is God-centered life, the second is service, the third is holy company. Maybe 4th if possible, maybe it's an offshoot only. The 4th is self-centered life. What do you mean by self-centered life? Is it selfish life? No. Your self-centered life, as much as possible, consciously think and practice, I am the self, not the body and mind. I am the self. I am that self. I am that indestructible self. How now, when you hear this, all these things are okay, Swami. When I start thinking I am the self, what is it going to make a change? Because it's an intellectual concept. It is not a fact for me. Yes, initially it will be an idea, a thought, But slowly when you go, when you get established, you will get lot of clarity and lot of experience. This happened in my life only in the training center. The training center, after my going to Calcutta, after 5 or 6 months, I had a fever. So initially I neglected. As a result, 1 week I had a good fever, like 102, 103 degrees centigrade. And then afterwards I told, then the doctor came and he examined. They gave some tablets, it didn't work. By the 10-12 days already, and I became very weak because every day 102, 103 degree fever. I became so weak, and brahmacharis used to make a fun. Oh, if we keep potatoes and rice on your body, we can easily cook here and we can eat. It's so much body heat I had. Even sometimes the brahmacharis used to come, take a wet cloth, cold water cloth, and they used to wipe my body. So much heat used to come. And fever, and it led me to weakness also. Then the doctor said, no, we should hospitalize. Then I was hospitalized also in our own Seva Pratishthan. We have got, I think, 300, 400 bed hospital. I was admitted. And they also took 3-4 days to examine and to locate what is the problem and to fix the problem, to give regular medicines. By that time already it was 15 days and body had its effect. And I was so weak, from here to probably maybe 10 meters, a bathroom was there. To go to bathroom I had to stop 2-3 times to sit. So much weak body had become. Now, other than eating food and struggling to go to bathroom, I couldn't do anything. Just I had to lie down. And so much so, sometimes even if I start reading 10-15 minutes because of my weakness, I was unable to read. My eyes used to get naturally closed and I was unable to read even any books. That was the weakness of the body then. Then my mind started thinking, what is this so much weakness and all? Then luckily I had batted Bhagavad Gita. Then Sthita Prajna Lakshana started coming into my mind. Sthita Prajnasya Kabhasha Samadhistasya Keshava Sthiti Kim Prabhashita Kimasita Prajati Kim Mahadar Sthita Prajna Lakshana Nainam Chindanti Shastrani Nainam Dadi. That Bhagavad Gita shlokas which tells about the nature of the soul. That gave me tremendous confidence, tremendous energy. My body was suffering from the fever and the consequences, but I was happy. And luckily, because I had battered few Upanishads, Isha, Kena, and this Bhagavad Gita and some other stotras and all. So I was lying down, no doubt. I was unable to read even, but I was able to remember the slokas, and the meanings were passing in front of my mind, and I was able to do self-satsanga with myself, and I was able to enjoy, and I was able to enjoy even on that, weak mind or a fever or whatever. So when we start practicing at the beginning, sometimes we don't understand. When we advance in our spiritual life to certain extent, when we start reaping the fruits, when we start experiencing the efficacy of all these things, scriptural study or devotional practices or satsangs or whatever, you will be able to understand and appreciate. Initially you may not understand, or for some time you may not comprehend the efficacy of all these things. So we need patience, and we have to keep on pursuing our spiritual practices. That will have a tremendous effect on our life, and there will be qualitative life actually. There can be problems in the life, there can be problems in our work, there can be problems in the family, well and good. But still, in spite of all these things, one can be happiest person. One can try to lead a blissful life by trying to lead a God-centered life or spiritual-centered life. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Swamiji.